Good morning. This is Madama, Disruptors, Alex and Frank. And today we are very happy to have a guest that we both know very well from years ago. His name is Bruno Niklaus. And Bruno, we're going to ask you to please give us your name again and give us some background on yourself. Bruno, let us know a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Yeah, my name is Bruno Niklaus, and I'm originally from Switzerland, born in Switzerland. And, as you know, Switzerland is the cleanest country in the world. So I learned a lot of cleaning systems and cleaning science from the Swiss. Actually, my mother helped to pay me go through school, and she was a housekeeper. So I was very young age, 6, 7, 8 years old. I helped her to clean office buildings. So that was my first exposure to cleaning. And I remember I moved, the trash cans out of the offices, like I think once or twice a week. So that was my first exposure. So I worked for a lot of companies, mostly fashion companies in my early career, until I moved to America about 30 years ago. And then I was hired for Unger Enterprises, and I was the VP Global Marketing, and I was involved in bringing new cleaning technologies and techniques into the American market. And our strategy, our focus was always to move dirt out of the buildings. So we introduced double bucket systems. We introduced floor cleaning systems. We also introduced microfiber cleaning systems, because these products are all very innovative. And again, for me, cleaning, and from a lot of other people, cleaning is, again, move the dirt out of the building. And currently, I am working with Filmop, which is a global manufacturer of cleaning equipment. And we are specialized in bringing new innovation to clean hospitals, like housekeeping cart systems. And also there, we are focusing on security, safety, easy disinfection, and easy moisturing of mops when they use housekeeping cart systems. So my early experiences to cleaning also brought me to my supported me in my older ages now to really be involved in cleaning, professional cleaning. I like the industry a lot. I like the people a lot. There's a lot of hands-on processes. So yeah, I like to be in the cleaning system.
That's a great introduction. So Alex, did you had some questions you want to ask?
So I have some questions regarding I have a ton of questions to you, Bruno. I mean, I can go on all day instead of 20 minutes with our podcast. But has Europe, I know Europe has supply issues, has supply chain issues. How has that affected you guys as far as a supplier for cleaning supplies to the US, especially?
Yeah, so currently Filmop is manufactured in Italy. 98% of products are injection molded in Italy. So we actually have we don't have supply issues. We ship from Venice, Mediterranean, Atlantic to Houston, and then we truck to Conroe, where our headquarters is. So we don't have actually supply issues. We have issues with increasing costs of containers. So container costs currently are about 2 or 3 times higher than they used to be before. So we are trying to manage that, not to have too many price increases. But currently our material shipments from Italy, from a amount of container standpoint of view, is not that much disrupted.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. So basically, if you're not making in China these days, you can avoid a lot of the issues that the rest of the world is dealing with when it comes to chips and all different kinds of machinery and so on. And
Absolutely.
what about COVID?
Absolutely. I mean, we have competitors and, it produce everything in China, and they have a very, very tough time because of what's happening in the ports, what's happening in China ports. So, yeah, we're lucky to be producing in Europe.
I think it's only going to get worse. I mean, I see this thing becoming a bigger problem as time goes on, which is advantageous to you and Filmop because you have a source of supply. So that's pretty amazing. That's pretty exciting, especially when you're dealing with a market that's really being pressured from supply point of view. But how has COVID affected you? Have you changed your product offerings? Have you modified it in any way? Is there anything you're doing differently because of COVID?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Yes, yes, because we are very end user driven. Our designs are really made to have cleaning equipment innovation brought to us or inspired to us by end users. So we had actually a little focus group about April 2020, and we asked some healthcare workers, and they said, look, if you can have something on your carts like a PPE bucket, a personal equipment, because they have to have gowns and masks and gloves. So we actually have a little PPE system on the carts. They also ask us to have ICU product, mostly yellow color coded. So we launched the whole ICU product line, which is a very innovative hamper, a very innovative trash bin, and also very specialized, customized carts for helping to clean ICU units. So yes, currently we're doing a lot of disposable products, disposable mops, disposable sleeves for dusting, because during the COVID period, people are focusing on again disposable products, moving to it at the building with disposables. And also we training a lot of easy disinfection of equipment. So our products are, they all have round edges. They all have areas which are easy to disinfect. So we train to disinfect after each shift. So these are kind of like the topics we were exposed to when we asked about COVID specific issues.
It's amazing. I mean, you think about how, COVID changes our lives, but also changes the way we do business. I mean, even the Zoom podcast that we're having would probably not take place before COVID, but Zoom became so common that, everything is changing in our industry. It's amazing. The shapes, and like Bruno pointed out, the way to disinfect equipment has to become easier because that's what people are so conscious about these days. So what is it that makes Filmop, if you had to look at Filmop and say, okay, why is Filmop a disruptor? Why are we different? What are we trying to do differently in the marketplace than anyone else? How would you describe Filmop as a disruptor in the marketplace? No one ever asked you that question yet, right?
No, but I'm doing, I'm disrupting every day actually, because we are calling directly at hospitals, and yeah, so yeah, we're bringing actually real true innovation to the marketplace. So we, our competitors are in the market since 30-40 years, and they are promoting metal-based cards or single polymer plastic cards. And then we are bringing in, innovation and copolymer plastic cards. We're bringing on-demand the mop moisturizing system. We're bringing ease of use of equipment. So yeah, I mean, we actually changing the marketplace as we speak to the better for ergonomics of housekeepers. Our carts are much easier to move around. Our carts are, designed to save chemicals, to save costs. Our carts are actually lockable, so there's no more misuse or abuse of chemicals happening in the hospital. So patients and visitors, you can steal currently chemicals on the current cards. Our cards are completely lockable. So we have about 4 or 5 or 6 in completely different innovation than what they have in the market now. So we need to have leadership. If I work with EVS departments where they embrace innovation, where they bring leadership, that's that is where we bring our disruptive technology into the marketplace. So
You know what I
it's
found,
actually
yeah,
very exciting. It's exciting because the innovation we're bringing is really for the better of the hospitals, for the better of the housekeepers, for the better of the clinic.
I agree, Bruno. One of the things that I noticed that's very innovative about Filmop and what you do is also the fact that you can customize to the needs of the customer. To me, that's a real innovation. I mean, it's a real disruptor where you can come in. I know Rubbermaid and other companies out there, they make standard SKUs. You want a certain cart, you want a certain functionality of the cart, and we know that everyone has different needs, has different challenges when it comes to cleaning. Some of the closets are smaller. You may want an operating room cart that's designed for specifically operating rooms. And for me, Filmop, what I found was very unique is the ability to customize your carts and to really make things for the needs of the customer versus the needs of Filmop or the manufacturer.
No, that's absolutely, and that is a very good comment. Yes, that's actually what really helps us set apart from the competition. Yes, you're right. The Filmop cart is like a Lego system, so I can add more storage capacity. I can reduce storage capacity. I can add dispensing systems. I can add wheels. I can add shelves. I can add drawers. I can make a 3-tower cart. I can make a half a tower cart. That's correct. It is really designed to really make the best for the end user needs. That is correct. So yes, I have a lot of hospitals. They have very tight closet spaces. So I can offer, I can design a very easily, actually, I've designed a much smaller cart. Yes, you're right. OR carts need to have more drawers for the liners. So my cart can easily hold 5 drawers. I can, some people need to have more storage when they're using the cart. So I can actually add a trash compartment to the cart. So it is really a pleasure to be able to do that. And that really motivates me all the time when I go to present my, we call it actually workstation, to be able to, customize the cart that the end user needs. A cart currently is probably made at about 500 tools. So the cart we have is almost like it's almost I would say from a design standpoint of view, it's like a masterpiece. Imagine there's 500 tools involved, 500 injection molding tools involved to make a cart. So it is really a very, very incredible, innovative system. And I don't see anybody or any competition anytime soon coming to a system like that, because the design and the development for that system is really extraordinary. It is a fantastic system.
Frank, do you have anything to say at this point? Any questions?
I only wanted to ask, I didn't want to necessarily change the subject, but I did want to ask the question. Bruno, is your company into robotics in any way?
Good question. Yes, I mean, we have some robotic projects. That's mostly for, again, ergonomics, helping the housekeeper, like for a cart. We are thinking about having a motorized carts, so it's easier to move the car around. That's the only thing we are in robotics. Other than that, our innovation really goes into hand tools and car tools, but we are not like not yet into like self-steering GPS based stuff. We are only doing to make a cart moving easier around.
Yeah, but
So
that'd
like
be great.
sorry,
That
Frank,
would
what
be
did you
very
say?
good.
Yeah, that would be excellent. I mean, the question, when you're saying a motorized cart, I've seen this in Europe. Other companies have these carts where people stand on the cart and they drive the cart from location to location, especially when you have like an area like an airport, which
Yeah.
I thought was always very interesting. I never saw it in the US, always in Europe. I see that when we go to Europe. It's a
Yes.
funny thing that never came here for some reason.
Yeah, there are two systems. One is you stand on it, and the other one you can actually have a motor underneath the cart, so you can still walk it, but you don't have to push or pull the cart that hard. And again, that's again workers' compensation, shoulder injuries, a housekeeper injury. So we're trying to really work on ergonomics to reduce workers' compensation claims in the workforce.
Now, also, Bruno, you were talking about disposables. I know, with my customers, we sell a HOCl generators that are producing HOCl, hypochlorous acid on site. And one of the things that we're trying to do, and we actually are doing successfully, is we're able to, instead of bleach wipes, people are able to make their own wipes on site. They get a tub with a wipe that goes in there, and they fill up the tub with the wipes in there, and they now have wet wipes that will last them for 30 days with an EPA-approved disinfectant. And it saves them tremendously on costs, whether they're using purple tops, red tops, whatever it is. And I recently started using your wipes as the source. Can you explain why your wipes are different? Because there's a lot of companies out there that are making wipes. How are your wipes different? I think it's important to talk about that because I really think it's unique.
I thank you very much, and I really appreciate your support there. Our wipes are, I have hospitals. I have hospitals, they have different choices of wipes, and I have some hospitals who want to have the Filmop wipes. It's very simple, it's we actually call our wipe a cloth, has a cloth-like feeling. It's a 12 by 12 wipe. It has, absorbs about, I think about an ounce of chemical. So you can actually four-fold the wipe. So when you go into a patient room, when you go into your room, we don't have to schlep in these like paper thin wipes, which hardly hold any chemicals. You can have one or two of the Filmop wipe with your chemical. And then when they go clean, they four-fold, they make the cloth hitting their paw, and then they clean a surface. They can change it they can four-fold the wipe. So it actually reduces travel time. Yeah, it reduces also usage of wipes which are not holding that much chemicals. So that's why they like our wipe concept, because again, it is highly absorbent. It has a feeling like a wipe and not like a paper. So
What about lint? Does it have any, how's it on a lint level?
it has no lint. It has no, it doesn't absorb any quats. So it's really straightforward wipe. But the good thing also, it comes in our square. We have a square tub, very high-end reusable tub with a very smart closing mechanism so the wipe doesn't dry out. So yes, if housekeeping systems, if they want to have a cost-efficient system, our wipes are very, I mean, a high-end wipe. It's a cloth almost. It's almost a microfiber cloth which you can throw away, which holds a lot of chemicals. Again, you can four-fold it. So
I can testify, Frank, his wipes, in my opinion, and I've gone through a lot of companies of wipes. That's why I'm with his now. It's probably the best quality in the market. I think even better than the bleach wipes that Clorox makes and the purple wipes that other companies make, red, purple tops. So I just want to ask one more question, and then Frank will probably take you on. My last question is, looking at the industry today, what would you say is the biggest challenge that you face both as a sales rep for the company and as a company itself? What are you finding is the biggest challenge that you're experiencing today in this marketplace?
Yeah, it's a very good question. I mean, consolidation of distribution is a challenge, but we chose the strategy 4, 5, 6 years ago to call on end users only. So the merging of distribution for me doesn't have that much of an impact. I think the biggest challenge from my end on end user is education and leadership. Education to the cleaners, continuous training, continuous education, and then leadership of the decision maker. That some people, it's very important that in the hospitals that leadership in the EVS department becomes more and more important, because the housekeepers can make some decisions, but they need to have some inspiration and some objective management from leaders. And I think leadership and education for me is probably the biggest challenge for the future.
Yeah, I think that's for all of us the same thing today. I think education has become more and more of an important part of our business, especially as you talked about, the merging of distributors in the marketplace. You have a lot of commodity distributors.
Yep.
Most of us today, in order to differentiate ourselves, really have to become the educators.
Yep.
Because the big distributors won't do that. The big distributors are too busy pushing commodities from point A to point B.
Yep.
We really need people like yourself, Frank, and myself out there, and others like us, to really educate and to be there training and holding the hands of our customers, because we have the best product in the world. Without education, it's worthless.
That's correct. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Distribution. There used to be more training in distribution. Currently, you're right. It's just a commodity. It's just placed in PO, and there's no training. There's no innovation selling happening either.
Right.
They sell the same stuff because it's fast and easy, but the industry needs to have innovation, needs to see better cleaning systems, and that's distribution is not actively promoting that. You're right.
Frank, that's what you and I have a discussion all the time about, right? And that's why we're looking for disruptors, because part of being a disruptor is also education. You and I talk about this all the time, how the industry is lacking education and it really needs more of it.
Yeah, one of the things I was going to say when Bruno said about education is being the management, I totally agree with him. He doesn't need my agreement, but there's another thing I think that we don't make a big deal out of, and I think we might think education takes care of it, and I don't think it does, and that's awareness. You see, it's one thing is to educate people, but first you got to get them to be aware. They have to be aware that this is even available. Then you can educate them. But first, the awareness is so important that I think sometimes there's not enough of that. There isn't enough connected to the awareness for these people. Marketing and advertising supposedly should take care of that, but I don't know that it does.
Never
Because a
does.
lot of times these people, excuse me, that's not a way to talk about the individuals, but you can talk to them and ask them questions. As innovative as Filmop is, I don't think enough people know about the innovation. And I don't say that to be negative. I say that because as good as it is, the innovation has got to be that good also. And not the innovation, I'm sorry.
Education.
The awareness.
Right.
And people have got to be aware that this is available, that it's a choice. And like those wipes you're talking about, where I got lost on the wipes, I wanted to ask you a question, Bruno. It's not that you didn't cover it, but I didn't pick it up if you did. On your wipes, are they pre-treated or are they wipes that the customer treats with their own chemical?
Yeah, they are dry wipe. We call them dry wipes. It's
Oh,
called
okay.
it's
Okay.
TNT. It's tissue non-tissue. So it's a non-woven material. And then to Alex's point, what he does, he has his excellent chemical, and then he goes to the end user and says, okay, look, you can have dry wipes. It's much less cost of transportation because it's much lighter. You add you add like 2 quarts of my chemical to the wipes, and then you can make a bucket full of moistened wipes, and then you can go and clean with them.
Yeah.
Or even
Now,
disinfectant.
here's another
No.
comment I want to make that you can or don't, you could agree or disagree. This idea of, see, the industry is brainwashed on certain concepts. And one of the concepts that the industry's brainwashed in is wipes. So the minute you mention the word wipes, they put the thing in their head into a category called, oh, I already have wipes. Yeah, I know what they are. Yeah, I bought them in the store, or I've seen Clorox wipes, because they really built the heck out of the name wipes. I really like the idea that you're calling it a cloth, and yet you keep going back to the word wipes in your conversation. I would suggest you drop the word wipes and keep saying cloth, because that's a great idea, and that's what makes it innovative. It's a cloth. It's not just a wipe.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm
Well,
not
I would
correcting
add,
you, Bruno. I'm saying it to you. These are only words, but the words make a difference in the presentation. There's no question about it. And
Frank,
it's,
I would call it a disposable cloth, because again, a cloth.
yeah, I like cloth.
Right,
Disposable is fine because that's what it is. But
Right.
I like the word cloth rather than wipe, because I'm
Right.
telling you, as soon as you say wipe, they put you into a category of all the other wipes. And now we just lost 20% of the concept.
No, that's actually an excellent idea. And actually, as we as we have our product line, we have a very large, we have a very cool product line, and the wipes or the cloth are a part of it, and we are constantly relaunching and upgrading our line. So the word cloth actually came about, again, it came out, to your point, came about 6 months ago, because again, we were comparing quality of wipes, and then we found out we actually have a cloth-like wipe.
Yeah.
So we actually, as we speaking, we actually fine-tuning our marketing approach. And you're right, we're probably gonna call it disposable dry cloth.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it adds a quality name to it. No
Yep.
question about it. It is a quality product, and now you're adding the name to it.
Yep.
That's a mistake we make in the industry, only because we're all brainwashed from the past of communicating, and we think that we have to talk the same language that everybody else does for them to understand us. And all it does is it keeps everything in the same communication, so it doesn't really change anything.
You actually, I'll give you a good example. So when we started first with the Filmop carts, we actually said in the beginning, it's actually more a workstation than a cart.
Yes,
A cart makes it cheap. A
exactly.
workstation,
You're right.
workstation makes it equipment.
Exactly.
So as we go now, as I have now end users, they refer, the people are using our workstations, they are starting to name it workstation, because it is more than just a cart. It's actually a
Yes.
workstation.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
You
So,
know, my experience of you, Bruno, is you are an actual walking around innovator. You've always been an innovator, always.
yep.
Anything that I remember going back to the days years ago when you and I got to know each other, you were always talking innovation, always.
Yeah.
That's what makes you unique. So this whole thing of today talking about being a disruptor, you've always been a disruptor, always.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, you've actually devoted yourself to disruptive ideas,
yes,
and that's what keeps you happy.
that's correct.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
sir,
there's no
right.
question about it. That's
That's
the
why.
one thing I remember most about you is you're a
Give me,
disruptor.
give me a hug.
The
Give me a hug.
closest, Alex, Bruno is the closest disruptor that we've ever had on this podcast.
Well, all us disruptors have to stick together,
Yeah.
It's
That's right.
one group of
That's right.
disruptors.
That is correct. That is correct.
Yeah, but he's a
Oh.
born disruptor, this man. He's not just a disruptor.
No, but you're right. That also, if the innovation, that's also makes my job fun. I have
Yes.
fun. I have fun showing innovation to my end users. And believe it or not, I can have videos, I can have brochures, but in the end, what I have, it is so advanced. I have to show it to the people in person.
Yes.
It's unbelievable how I explain our Equidose dispensing system, and I show it in a video, I show a brochure, but they don't understand it until they see it in front of their eyes. And then
Yeah.
they say, aha, that is how it's working.
Makes sense.
So
It also makes it a difficult way to move your company ahead.
Yep.
Makes it more difficult. There's no question about it. However, what it's good about it is the average company's not willing to spend the money and time and effort that it takes to do it in person, because today they're trying to shortcut everything and make it do it through videos, and they think, well, let's get to the people that way. There's still nothing like direct contact with people.
Yes.
Nothing, and it never will be.
Yes, and to Alex's point, the distributors don't do it anymore, so we do it, and so Filmop is becoming some kind of an expert consultant to our target group, which is the acute care EVS. So they come with me with other problems they have. Is it disposable flat mops? Is it carts? Is it customized? So because I'm connecting with these people, so they are actually asking me other questions as well, which I really welcome. So Filmop is becoming, so our strategy is to build up Filmop on the end user level, because again, distribution is not doing that anymore.
No.
So the more contact I have for end users, the more I can build the business for Filmop.
That's an excellent point, Bruno. And that is really the big problem, Frank, today.
Listen, I'm sorry to say our time is up.
I'm sorry. Yes. I'm sorry.
No, I am, because you're a great guest, Bruno. Listen, Bruno, I'd like to personally, on behalf of Alex and myself, invite you back. If you come up with anything that you feel would be of value for us to share with our audience, we would love to have you back anytime.
Thank you.
If you have something you'd like to share, that you come up with that's a new innovation.
Yes.
Now, Bruno,
disruptor.
A disruptor. Before we close, Bruno, would you like to share with the audience anything specific? Would you like them to have your website, your phone number? We would put it up on the podcast. So what would you like the audience to have, if anything?
Yeah, that's a very good question. In terms of like understanding innovation, understanding our benefits and feature products, if you go to our website, which is filmopusa.com, filmopusa.com, our website is built like a library of information for end users. So if any user of products want to see an MRI cleaning system, want to see an OR cleaning system, want to see an acute care workstation, want to see a disposable flat mop, we have an excellent website, and it's full of expert information. So filmopusa.com.
Bruno, I want to tell you on behalf of Alex and myself and our podcast, I want you to know that we thank you for coming on today, and we absolutely love you.
Thank you. Thank you very
We
much
see
for
you,
having me
Bruno.
here. Thank you. Happy Halloween.
Okay,
Thank you
same to
very
you.
much.
Okay.